I know one of the things that I told myself, I want to meet people and be friends with and be surrounded by intellects, by people that love to have deep conversations, with people that are open-minded, with people that will support your ideas, support your dreams, and you'll be surprised, they will be brand new people. I mean, brand new fucking people. You can't choose your family. You got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't choose your friends. You know what I mean? You can appreciate true friendship, which to me, friendship is a form of love. You know what I'm saying? And that word love, there is a conditional love and unconditional love. You know what I mean? To me, conditional love is for the most part and very truthful in my mind, is the people that you're interested in romantically, right? As long as that person fits the narrative that you want in your life, there's an attraction. As long as that person is feeding you with what you need, right? It's attractive. But as soon as they start to do some shit that like isn't like truly like doesn't truly resonate with you, then like and there's a consistency of those actions, then it's like, now due to the new conditions, your feelings start to change, right? But then you have unconditional love, which is for example, and almost the only example that I really feel true it to be would be children, right? Your children, your offspring. That shit is unconditional. There is a now that I'm a parent, I mean, fucking I put my parents through some shit. I'm talking about stressful situations, and it's like they were there, man, unconditionally. I mean, I cost them money, time, fucking tears, disappointments. But then I also have cost them a lot of happiness. I've also expanded their mind. I've also been now a positive influence in my nieces and nephews, right?
Because of your habits.
Because of my new habits. They don't just see, you know, Tío Julio coming through, visiting the family with my loud music, with my, you know, drinking and driving, being loud, being tough, living with like, you know, like living the complete opposite way of what I'm living. You know what I mean? And the response has been truly great. Even with people that doubted me, even there are still people that are doubting me, but that's okay. Actually, and some people are like, I think those people, yeah? Actually, I don't give a fuck. It just gets to that. Like, I don't care.
It doesn't matter yet.
Doesn't matter. Eventually, a lot of these people that doubt you are because they see something that like maybe they want, or like that like they're living their own fears. So they're like, no, you can't do that, right? Or like fuck. Like that's, you're dreaming too big, or like your dream is too big, or like you should be doing this. Like but then you continue to do what you're doing, you're like, whatever, man, I'm on my own thing. And then once you start to create that thing, and once you prove it to yourself, actions speak louder than words, right? Once you become that, then it's like, when people realize that and they accept that, they will change their opinions, and they'll change their idea of like, no, you can't do that to, I can't believe you're doing that. I'm very impressed that you're doing that. Yo, how are you doing that? Can I do that? Right? So then like,
they start believing.
They start believing, and that is the great thing that's happening now, is that I'm realizing that by not caring about what people were thinking, by not worrying about any of that, by like working on myself and finding myself, and now and like seeing these new passions, learning these new
holistic health remedies.
Oh man, like it's very exciting. doesn't feel like work. Life doesn't feel mundane. It's been great.
It's rewarding.
It's been very rewarding. I can't wait for the future. Even just doing this, like speaking ideas, because ideas are powerful, man. I think ideas are like the most powerful force there is. Ideas can move people. I mean, we have the ability to create platforms like you did, like you're having me here based on like you're following your passions and your dreams. I met you when you were like, you got into some shit, you got into like a project, right? Mm-hmm. But I remember how stressful it was for you. And I remember how certain people didn't act the way they promised to act, or they said they would act, or like that you would even think that like you would assume that's how they would act, right? And for the record, I wasn't one of those, which is why I'm sitting like right? But it's nice to see that what he's doing. The people that didn't believe in him, the people that undermined him, the people that didn't thank him for the feeling that he brings, which is acceptance, which is a sense of like of creativity, encouragement. That's the kind of shit that you
deal with.
Dude, you gotta be grateful for that, because there's people are out there trying to bash you, and like people need to be really grateful for the people that aren't like that. You know, instead of like doubting them or bringing them down because you're not like that, and because the fact that you're not like that, you're like, no man, you know, fuck that guy, or like why is he doing that? Or like, what's the point of him doing that? You know what I mean? It's like,
because when you
get
start,
those fucking people the fuck away from me. You know what I mean?
yeah, because you start focusing your energy on being bitter, resentful. You're leaving your thought action energy. Thought action, what I mean is visualizing something and putting your thoughts into action and building something. Me getting into this whole YouTube journey, it gets distracted because you're so focused on what was done bad to you by people that you really shouldn't even focus on anymore. It's just time to move on, get moving, get over it, because it just doesn't matter. You just gotta go. You gotta work, you gotta just do it, and you just gotta come out into who you are, into your own. And that really comes down to is engaging with like minds, engaging with people that do care about you, with your same tribe.
Dude. And if you do that, you may be surprised that like when you combine forces or you decide to do something together, that it's freaking magical. I haven't had this much fun hanging out, like, or just I haven't had this fun a day in a long time, bro. I didn't think I was creative within the time that I was here by myself, and I had my battle within myself, and I learned that I'm creative. I learned that I'm artistic. Some stuff that like I never even, that I accepted to be true. I was like, I'm not artistic. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a bro. I work out and I'm fucking cool, man. And I got the cool shit. Like that was, to me, that was like, it was pretty vain, and like you let go of that egocentric ideology, and you dive into ideas, like other people's ideas, their books, things that you want to learn about. You know,
He's been learning boats.
I never grew up on boats. Never know anything about boats. All of a sudden, I had such a good time this past summer kayaking that I remember telling myself one of my desires was to have a boat. I'm like, I want a boat. And then I thought I assumed it was gonna be like a little aluminum fishing boat that I could take my daughter fishing here down the river, right? But like deep down inside, what is one of the things I always wanted to do? Now that I'm asking myself, Julio, what do you want to do for fun? What is gonna engage you to keep feeling like life is happening, right? To not allow yourself to get back to a dark place. Like one of those things was like, I would love to go sea fishing. I've never been out deep sea fishing, and it turns out that like I got into an accident. I totaled my truck, and instead of like flipping out and like worrying about what am I gonna do, and all of a sudden I don't have a vehicle, and I live out in the country, like I said, like I need my vehicle for the most basicest of things. Like I mean, I can't even to go to my next door neighbor's house to ask for ask for some sugar. I need a car, you know. Otherwise, if I walk, it's gonna 2 or 3 miles. Instead of worrying about that kind of stuff, I paid it no attention. I just knew.
You just got it done.
I knew that I needed that, right? And I wasn't worried. And like a thing of magic, I got this deal, this killer deal on this truck. And then because of the good attitude, because of the way that I choose to carry myself now, I connected with that person, and they were like, well, he was selling me his truck. I needed one, right? And it's a really good deal. So I went over to check out the truck, and now he's like, well, you know what? He's like, I used to pull my boat with that truck, and now I don't have a truck. And I was like, well, let me take that boat from you. Let's work out a good deal, right? It turned out that like I have carpenter skills. I have handyman skills. I can do a lot of, you know, there's a saying in construction, I forget how it goes really, but it's like I'm a master of nothing. I'm like a jack of all trades kind of thing, right? So that kind of stuff. So anyways, got a good deal, worked out a good deal, ended up gaining a truck and a boat. I have a friend who's a captain, boatman, sailor, whatever it is that you want to call it. And he came over to check out my boat. He's like, yo, kid, he's like, that is a nice boat. He's like, when you told me you got a starter boat, I was expecting a piece of crap, right? He's like, the boat that you have is an ocean boat. You can take this boat in the ocean or like in the lakes, right? You definitely can't take this boat on the river. So now all of a sudden I skipped the aluminum boat that I was already grateful for in my thoughts. That's what I wanted, and I was rewarded by getting a sea boat, a boat that I could go sea fishing in, which is something that I really wanted to do. But now what? That came with responsibility. I don't know anything about boats, right? But given that like that I love to learn, that I seek wisdom and knowledge, right? Because it's made me a better person. It keeps making me better. I think like it's one of those things that like it's almost like a new addiction. I love being by myself because I love learning stuff. That's what I'm doing. Now all of a sudden I have this boat. I don't know what to do. Well, guess what? You got nothing but time. Figure out. I had to learn the lingo. I'm talking about, you know, what's the front of the boat called? What's the back of the boat called? I didn't even know they had different names. I didn't know the right side of the boat was called one thing, that the left side of the boat was called one thing. I mean, but engaging in that and learning that, as I'm learning that and as I'm engaging in this new material, I'm imagining myself out there in the water,
attracting a new adventure,
in the boat, with my friends, with my daughter, another day with my dad. I don't think he's ever been fishing. Right? Like I'll be able to bring that to my dad, or I'll be able to connect with him on some shit that he's never felt before. And to have his son take him, I mean, that's gonna be like fireworks emotionally for us, you know what I mean? I don't know what it's like to be floating out there in the water with my dad, not having a care in the world, having a beer and having a conversation with him, you know? Vice versa with my kid, with my nieces, with my nephews, with my friends. Like I even thought about, I was like, I'm gonna take the boat out, I'm gonna take Scott out, and we're just gonna float out there. We're gonna have these ideas, because we knew we were gonna do this, right? And I mean, I was nervous. I'm like, dude, I'm not interesting. Dude, like, I don't even, like, all these things that like, you know, the self-doubt, all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, no, man, you're a person who is in pursuit of knowledge, who has had trials and tribulations, who feels like I can share my story and share what I'm doing and influence people to want to learn, for people to regard studying and having fun with new people, you know. And it's like that's life. That's what matters. What degree you have, what school you go to. I mean, you know, that's I'm telling you, that doesn't do it for me. If it does it for other people, great. If they're happy with their life, great. It wasn't for me. You know, maybe I'm just one of those kind of fucking free thinkers, a little psychonaut. You know what I mean? Like I'm in my mind a lot, and it's a good thing. It's a great thing. And 32 years old, I can't wait to I want to learn martial arts. I learn how to fish. I want to travel. I want to start another business. I mean, who knows like how many more good, fun, intellectual people that I'm gonna meet. You know what I mean? How great and how an amazing of a human being I will help influence to become, to be brilliant, right? It's like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and when you get there, it's open and it's white, and you can do what you want.
You basically paint a new picture.
You paint your picture, man. Paint your picture, but now you're wiser. Now you know what moves not to make. But you can't be afraid to live in love. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid to be vulnerable. Even this is super vulnerable, yeah? People might be like, we all have problems. I don't care to hear about your problems. That's fine, you know? But I hear podcasts and I hear conversations with people that have triggered different thoughts, and learning how ideas about wanting to improve yourself by learning is a process that changes you. It's a process that creates a new person that will help you in business, that will help you in relationships, that will help you find extreme joy, to be enjoyable, to you yourself be enjoyable to other people. You know what I'm saying? That feels good when like you go out and people want to engage with you, and like there is that second where you know you like they like you and you have their interest. You know what I mean? And then you start doing this everywhere you go. You start to build a relationship with like the people at your gym, or the people at your favorite restaurant, or your people, or like people start to notice you and they start to love the vibe that you bring, and it's positive. And if you start to build and grow on that, and if you turn this switch of lightness and love, that every person or most of the people that you encounter in your life, imagine everywhere you go, you're just gonna be, even on a day where you yourself are feeling down, but because as soon as that other person sees you, who has this image of you as being light and being encouraging and being positive, on the day that you may be feeling down, that might be what you need to get back up. You know, but it's almost like you've planted the seed, and you keep planting that seed, and the seed is for good or bad. You know what I'm saying? But life is not supposed to be any fucking way. I know that. I can't be stressed out about not doing the things that you were told to be doing, or that people think you're supposed to be doing, because you know what? The world is changing. Life is different, and
it's really up to you to determine your own fate, your own destiny.
It's on you at the end of the day.
Yeah, to learn about yourself, to learn anything, to put this in practical steps and actions to execute on that vision.
And stop judging people. And that was something for me, right? I needed to stop judging people, because that was keeping me closed-minded, and that was keeping me from making relationships with people that were different than me. But that's what you want. I mean, that's what I seek. I seek everything that is the opposite of me, because I know who I am. I know what I've been about. I know what I carry. But then if I take on these new challenges of knowing the unknown, right? Then it's like, there's a sense of relief, man. And like now you're not afraid of, now you know what you didn't know, right? And it's like you can choose to dismiss it, you can choose to apply it, but we have to break the pattern of what we are used to doing. If it's a bad thing, but if you feel like your habits are good, and if you find joy and love in your life, then keep doing that. The point is to once again, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use hatred and bitterness, and if you don't choose a lower vibrational way of traveling, right? Because we're all traveling. Well, I mean, we're Cosmo ourselves, man. You know what I mean? Choose the opposite of that. Choose joy. Choose to find interest in what you don't know, rather than to find fear or rage by somebody doing some shit that you don't truly believe in, man. You know, I mean, in a healthy way. Just don't accept what you don't want, and accept what you do want. And don't judge, man. Let people fucking do what they want to do, because ultimately those are the people that you should actually find and feel like a desire to be, because they're strong in who they are, and they don't care about being judged, and there's a sense of liberty, and there's a really good feeling of release to not care. I mean, going back to like me being materialistic and all that good stuff, I think I don't think I've gone to the mall to go shopping. I don't know what the new shoes are out. I don't know about the new Jordans that are, or Yeezys, or whatever the fuck is out there. You know what I mean? I am a simple man, making a transition to a natural state, as natural as I can, and that's been liberating to me, man. That's how I made it out of that dark place, you know. I know there's going to be more trials and tribulations to come, but I'm actually I'm welcoming them as they come, and I believe that I will be okay, and that's where it starts, with your beliefs. I believe I'll be good, and I believe that I will achieve wonderful things, because we're all wonderful, man. You have to believe in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Let me just light this up and say goodbye from California. You got a California bear. Let's just kind of maybe.
This is you.
This is me. This is like, you know, this is my house, guys. Very much a California kid. I think this piece of art right here was pretty cool. You know, the all-seeing eye kind of thing. That has its own kind of like super deep like meaning of it. You know, got my man Bob Marley over there. You know, he was one of those icons that promoted peace and love through music, and music speaks. I mean, that's another thing. There's so much cool shit that we just talk about, man. Like music and facing adversity real quick, okay? About when you're down. It's okay to be different, man. It's been such an awesome response from people when I walk down the road, down the street. I walk those streets with my daughter, right? I mean, holding her little hand. I couldn't understand why I was getting so many good looks from people, so many thumbs up from. Now the picture that's been painted has been of a dad who looks cool as shit, right? Who expresses love for the most tenderest and meaningful thing in his life. and that's my daughter, right? And it's guys gotta step up. Men, you have to step up. You're missing out on these wonderful times with your children. When it's your blood and it's like it's a part of you, the moments are so much more precious and so much more meaningful. It's magical, man, and I wish everyone could experience that. I know that like some men want to be a part of the family, and like maybe maybe the mother isn't like cooperating, or maybe you're just kind of have been afraid to step up to the plate because you have to let go of everything else. You have to let go. You have to be a father first, always, first and foremost. You can't be a homie. You can't be a part-time dad. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, and it's not fair to the children, and it's especially sad for you. Like, it's so rewarding, especially when you know that you're making a good human being. And I mean, I guess that matters to me. I guess it doesn't matter to other people, you know? I see videos of like little 2-year-olds fucking humping each other and like dancing, and their parents are like, fucking hilarious, you know? Like, I don't think we all have our standards, but for the normal person, for the normal dad, be involved with the children. It makes you a better person, and it gives you good juju, man. It really does. You know? I can't wait. My daughter's in kindergarten. She's already getting fucking certificates of, you know, like just being a good, kind kid. And it's rewarding, spiritually rewarding. It's just I feel like I'm on the right path, bro. Mm-hmm. You know, but I haven't always been good. I've been really bad, or I've been really upset, or I've been really depressed, or I've even contemplated and thought about suicide, which is crazy because I'm a happy person. You know what I mean? So love yourself, and you can get yourself out of this. You just have to put the work in. Mm-hmm. And it's like just baby steps, little by little. I understand that like maybe you've been like making bad decisions, bad choices for years, and it's like you don't even know where to start because you want to be way over there, right? Because you're not a part of like your children's life, and all of a sudden like it's been a few years, and like you feel like you can't. Well, don't expect to be all of a sudden living these thoughts and desires that you want within a week. If you've been gone for a year or 2 or 3 years, you better be okay with putting a year or 2 or 3 years in to just to get there. But it's one day at a time. One day at a time. Affirmations, remind yourself your goals. Be okay with being by yourself. Some of you guys might be for the first time. You know, there's people out there that just cannot be by themselves. But mastering yourself is very, very important.
Yeah, self-mastery will lead to success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Without self-mastery, you lead an undisciplined life. And so that undisciplined life really translates to being chaotic. So there we have it. The end note with Julio. California love.
The old lady saying, man. It ain't over to the old lady sings, right? So the old lady saying. But it's been fun. Hope I didn't offend anyone. If you're offended, then you're just a fucking snowflake because I didn't say anything bad. And, you understand? Like, we're just here. I'm just kidding. Got a lot of love for everyone. Love conquers all. And if you're a guy, bring chivalry back. Bring these good gestures, these kind gestures back. And I challenge you to do something kind for other people. It's a different sense of feeling of satisfaction when you are truly doing shit to help others. It's just trying to improve yourself. You know what I mean?
And I do.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, thank
Well, I
you,
got someone that
Julio.
wants to say bye.
This is just the beginning. Julio will most likely have his own channel very soon too. And more insights into fatherhood coming out and knowing who you are and self-mastery. And juicing.
Yeah,
Juicing will be key.
that will be fun. Thank you, man. It's been great. And start juicing. Juicing is a good thing.
All right. Boom. We're out. Boom.